Happy Eid Maulud to our Muslim brothers and sisters. It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Mariam Longe. How is everything? How was your weekend?
My weekend was amazing. I had a very packed weekend with all the things that I like to do. But this morning, I want to send a special and big congratulations to Contemporary Group for being given the National Award by the Nigerian Institute of Architects for the most iconic corporate building in Nigeria.
Really?
Wow. So, as a proud wife, my congratulations to my husband and also to his partner, architect Kester Ifadi. Was just so proud of you. We, praying wives and partners, very proud of you. And of course, to my big sis and auntie, Mrs. Ifadi, you know, we're really proud of what our husbands are doing. And the whole Contemporary Group staff and team, well done. And we cannot wait to celebrate more wins. And finally, my friend Kofo, it's her birthday today. She turns a big 49, but looks 29. So happy, you know, for our relationship. And I'm wishing you a very, very happy,
fantastic,
a very, very happy New Year. We're looking forward to the party next year.
Yes.
Big 50, Big 50.
That's the iconic one.
How you doing, Alaja Nima Akashat Zabere?
I'm in my most sober reflection. So I took my daughter back to school yesterday. And on my way, I stopped to see my mom. So in my, I get into that phase of how it's been. I want to just say shout out to my siblings. I have the best, the most amazing siblings. They put it all together. We've been doing well. And my mom is well cared for. Wow. I saw her yesterday. She's been between two of my sisters, my two elder sisters, and back to the other one. And I was like, she's doing better. If she was with me with this, my around schedule, I feel jealous because I really want her to be with me, but I would not have been able to care for my mom the way my sisters do it naturally. So I want to say, a shout out to all of them, my only brother and my other three sisters. God bless you all. Gufran. Has matured.
Has matured?
Has gone.
She just went into the hostel. She didn't even... No drama,
mushy,
nothing. And me, I had to brave up and just act like everything is fine. I called her when I got to home. She was like, I'll call you back. I need to catch up notes. They started school last week. I said,
oh, wow.
It's me. Oh. I love you. I miss you. Okay, yes, I love you, Mom.
Imagine. That's how it is.
These children, they outgrow us so fast, and I'm not ready for it yet.
Yeah, I watch my daughters and my kids. It's like I'm watching TV. Like I'm just like...
From when to when? How did this all start?
In the house. Even when, so I banned TV, right? And it's forcing creativity in the last, so they not watch TV. So I'm seeing them singing, putting on the radio, trying to do stuff, Elizabeth leading them, and they're all listening, and they're all doing matching, and I'm thinking, I'm just watching them like, you guys can actually be one like this. Because TV, they'll just sit in front of TV. Yeah. So now they're actually doing stuff. And I mean they find it boring. But I'm enjoying it because it's making them to be creative.
Yes.
They're putting sticks together, doing some happy things.
They're not bored though. They will come and tell you are bored. They are missing the TV. That's when they say they're bored, but they're not. They're actually living their life.
Because even with the TV, sometimes they find out that they can do some things extra. Then you begin to ask them that, is it this thing that you're seeing from the TV that you are practicalizing?
Yes. And how are you doing, Dami?
I'm fine, thank you. My weekend was great. I spent my weekend with Scotty, and it was kind of a family thing. And I felt like the relationship from home, Isaleko, when you're talking about the Akaba Shorons, the Banires, and some of the notable families that you can find in Lagos. And so it felt like I had time to bond with my Oga. My sister, but then by and large yesterday I was Oju no it's not even just Zaleko Oju no the eyes of fire.
It's coming out small.
Okay, so that's they've always told us not to use the left hand to point to our father's house. So we're grateful to God that in everything that like the Yoruba say Adupe Pareni Biwa that we are from the noble birth, and for all of us that are also still giving birth, let us try try to put a good legacy for our children, because, you know, when they are growing up, like Nema said, you begin to watch the things that you have given to them, the traits, the foundation that they've gotten from you, and you're like, okay, yes, these children can carry on without me. So my weekend was fine, and I was also nursing my partner. I couldn't do my photo shoot yesterday because he was down with typhoid. And the nurse was like, Auntie, do you ever fall sick? I said, me, anything that will make me cover my body. Maybe it's once in 5 years. And she was like, I'm grateful for your immune system. I say, when an outsider is thankful for my immune system, I mean, I'm strong like that. Some of us are built like that.
I mean, my weekend was quite busy. It was back to back. I didn't even have time to check my phone. Like it was just back to back things. But I'm really happy, grateful for health, life, our ability to do these things. And I'm so excited about this week. I have so many meetings. I'll be in Abuja. I have a few things to attend over there. I'll be back hopefully by Wednesday. And so things are happening, but we thank God for life. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with The Nation. NNPCL, Dangote disagree on petrol price. Jail terrorists among 281 prisoners who bolted in Ornu. Conversion of buses to CNG in Ibadan, Kaduna peps up. DSS didn't arrest Showore. President back in Abuja after China and UK visits. And Edo 2024 presidency, NSA flay DP's violence claim. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Headline. Okay, so according to The Nation, and I like the breakdown of the report because I've been on the swear for some group of people. So they said this petrol that Dangote gave to NNPCL yesterday was a landmark one, and the document released showed that the NNPCL issued a letter of credit for over $120 million to cover an initial supply of 25 million liters. So we're going to do the maths. I'll do it eventually. Dangote, however, released 16.3 million liters of petrol to NNPC as opposed to the 25 million liters, leaving a deficit or a shortfall of 8.7 million liters demanded by the NNPC. Now, the refinery also released a total of 12,200 metric tons of petrol from tank number 3201D at its complex based in Lekki. And so we will do the maths later and find out who is telling what. Both of them disagreed on the amount the petrol was sold per liter, but both of them agreed that this transaction was conducted in dollars, and so maybe their conversion is what is causing the confusion. But the chief communications officer of NNPC, Olufemi Shoneye, said that petrol was sold to them at 898 naira per liter, above what they had even pegged petrol in the past weeks due to the scarcity. But Dangote said that this statement is misleading and mischievous. It's insinuating that 898 naira is what their liter of petrol is. He said it is not this, but they then didn't disclose what it is. He said if it is not 898, then what is the price? That's Shone calling out NNPC, calling out Dangote that Dangote should release the price. He said they have issued letters of credit for the product and there's an invoice. And so Dangote should come and tell us the price. But Dangote, as a businessman, cannot come out to tell us now. So those are the facts are existing at this time.
We'll discuss one of our hot topics today because we'd like to hear Nigerians. I mean, that's the question. What's the price? Another story in Nation?
No state. So the governor has expressed concern over the escape of some jail terrorists from the correctional service custodial center in Maiduguri. So I don't know if we remember during the flood, it was reported that some inmates were missing. At first, it was declared that 200 of them had gone missing, but as of this report, we have 281 inmates that have gone missing. So they said that during the flood, they were being evacuated, and upon the evacuation, they counted and realized that they had 281 inmates that are missing, but they're saying that they have all their details, their biometrics and everything, so they know who they are. And I'm hoping that this would mean putting their pictures up, and their names and everything. So if you know them, if they are neighbors of yours, if you've seen them somewhere, you're able to point them out, to the authorities. But the NCOS is saying that, that they're not concerned, but there are other reports that are saying that they were terrorists, but the NCOS is saying that we're not concerned for people's safety. So hopefully that means they are able to get them immediately. So.
Okay, I have the story. I'm following the report that the politician Omoyele Sowore was arrested and then released. DSS said they never arrested Omoyele Sowore. The source, according to the reports in the Nation, said that Sowore was on their watch list, and he has been delisted. So what happened was that when he came in from the US, the Nigerian Immigration Service (NIS) officials called him. They stopped him briefly and afterwards released him. But when Omoyele Sowore was going to post it on his Twitter, on his X page, he said, "I had just arrived in Nigeria from the USA and at MMIA in Lagos. Upon reaching immigration, my passport was seized and they told me they had orders to detain me." So that was what he posted out. But the DSS said that never happened. He was stopped briefly and then eventually allowed to go. So I'm assuming because he's probably on their watch list. So when a security official will see you, they're likely to call you first to be sure that there's nothing to hold you and then allow you to go. So maybe that's why he then interpreted it that he was detained.
Because there was I saw the video and there was a lot of rancor outside the airport and people were banging the gates and a lot of it.
Okay, any other story in Nation? Okay, let's move on now to the Punch. Petrol price, Dangote and NNPC differ as refineries supplies 16 million litres. How I was rescued from collapsed Edo building, says landlord's daughter. NIN-SIM and that SIM linkage. Telcos begin disconnection as deadline ends. Labour Party, Abure sues INEC over caretaker ESCO. 2027 Wike's loyalists move against Fubara's second-term bid. And NCOS contacts Interpol over 281 Borno fleeing inmates. Okay, which story?
I have the NCOS contacts Interpol on the fleeing 281 Borno inmates. And this one says that the Nigerian Correctional Service on Sunday disclosed that about 281 inmates, just like Miriam has taken that news in another paper. And the NCOS spokesperson, Omar Abubakar, however, told the Punch that the agency had alerted the Nigerian Immigration Service, Nigerian Police Force, amongst other security agencies, to help recapture the fleeing inmates. Every security agency in the country has been notified and that they are on the alert to help track down the fleeing inmates wherever they may be. With the help, we will capture them and return them back to their custodial centers. And in this statement, the Nigerian Correctional Service also said that they observed the flooding currently being experienced in Maiduguri State, Borno State, and its environment. The unfortunate incident has left scars, bringing down the walls of the correctional facilities during the medium security custodial center in Maiduguri, as well as the staff quarters in the city. And that hands are being on deck to make sure that every security agency is aware and their photos are everywhere, so that once people begin to identify them, they can alert the authorities and they can get them back.
Okay, let's go on a very short break now. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration.
From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria.
And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek.
Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it, you'll feel like you're right there with me.
Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone.
So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty.
My name is Nachika Okeke.
My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name is Damilola Banire.
My name is Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen.
And this na Abigail.
And I dare on top of you, Pigeon.
I'm going to bring you bass, boost.
I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say now my husband be this.
This na wetin you want.
After that day, the man
You no go see am
disappear.
again. If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody.
When you dey find the husband, you not see sign say the guy smart, you don't vex, don't give signs.
If they look for person, we go give them to you. Fact as it be.
Men no dey ever get fault. If baby not dey for her, na the woman.
Talk no dey be person, you make person no fit talk true inside.
But for this country, we not say if we open court in the morning, waiting no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
We not even take responsibility for the children.
Leave the man.
And that's some poria.
And jollof. Terra Gold. 1 cube, endless possibilities.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Yes, sure.
Yes, I have telecommunications operators are expected to start disconnecting mobile phone lines that are not linked to the NIN. This is following the expiration of the deadline, September 14th. So we have the NCC saying, first of all, you know, there was a deadline August 1st, where a lot of people started sending stories around that they were doing it so that they could interfere with the protest that was happening. And because of that, they didn't want to be affiliated to any political sentiment. They moved it to September 15th, and still there are a number of people who haven't yet done the linkage. But this is the final warning. They're going to start disconnecting numbers, and it goes to show that maybe there is a reason why some people are refusing to link their numbers to their NIN. They also mentioned that, yes, they know that it's not like an easy process going to these centers, but you must visit those centers and you must regularize your numbers. So starting today, I think a lot of people will realize if you've not done it, your lines will be disconnected.
Well,
and at this point, who do you blame?
I cannot blame anybody.
I think they should also charge the centers, because oftentimes you go there and they're telling you there's no network is down, you have to come back. It affected me personally to link and it was just because of the name. I had Oluwadamilola somewhere and I had Damilola somewhere, and he said you had to go and recorrect BVN and everything.
Yeah.
And I've gone to my network provider like twice. There's been no network. Oh, you have to come back. So
I have the human interest. So you remember the building collapse that happened? in Benin.
Edo?
Yeah, yes. So they have the survivors angle on this article. One of the survivors, Dorcas Olushola, yesterday was interviewed by Punch, and she mentioned that she was just miraculous. It was miraculous that she was able to survive it. This collapse was due to flood. The building it had been raining for hours. All of the survivors had the same account of how it had started raining very early at 4 a.m. up until 7 a.m. Wow. And they were able to survive. So they are at the trauma center in the UBTH, and that's where they're being interviewed. Everybody is talking about how it was miraculous for them to have survived. The state government said they sent the fire service and rescue team immediately. They had it and they helped everybody to safety. But you know, Benin is a very coastal state, city, and flooding is irregular in Benin. So we would expect whoever is coming in since elections next weekend to have a proper plan on the drainaging and channeling of water in that state. That's the way to go. It's been done before, so you can copy.
All right, moving on quickly now to Daily Sun. Dangote Petrol hits stations. Let's find a story. Not taking NDLE arrests businesswoman, auto parts dealer over the UK-bound opioids and cocaine. Edo Ondo polls, Anyako task INEC security agency orders to credible elections. OBJ, IBB, Abdusalami, Guzal meet in Minna. And FG begins free CNG conversion, targets 1 million vehicles nationwide. Let me take the CNG because I'm really interested in that story. So the federal government has commenced the distribution of the compressed natural gas conversion kits nationwide to fast-track the change of petrol diesel-powered vehicles to the use of CNG. The program director, Michael Oluwagbemi, disclosed this doing inspection of the 6 CNG conversion centers in Abuja. They have the NIPCO oil and gas station, Airport Road, Kia Motors, and a few others. So he said that the CNG initiative by the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will provide cheaper, cleaner vehicular fueling alternatives for Nigerians. So those of us that are dependent on fuel, we're hoping that in the coming years, we'll be more dependent on CNG. So what they've done right now is that they're giving out CNG kits nationwide to commercial vehicle owners for free. Private cars would just have to pay a fraction of the value, but they are actually going around to different states. I think they're starting off with they said they have 75 conversion centers officially in 8 states. That's Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Edo, Delta, Kogi, FCT, and Kaduna. These 8 states are the first stop, and then eventually they're going to have in Ekiti, Akwa Ibom, Rivers, Abia, Enugu, and others. So the coordinator, Mrs. Omolara Obile, said that the program will reduce the dependence on fuel. So I'm pretty excited because even the federal government is also very excited because they're hoping that all this back and forth with fuel is because obviously we're still dependent. So when there are more conversions to CNG, more people would actually have options and not have to demand fuel. So hopefully that will also help in the pricing of fuel.
I have the NDLA story. Okay, so NDLA on September 6th, they intercepted a cargo going to the United Kingdom. And they said after a thorough search, it revealed 924 bottles of codeine-based syrup weighing 135.70 kg and 5,250 tablets of rofinol, and they were hidden in cartons of foodstuff. The freight agent was who was presented the cargo for export. He was arrested, and then investigation led to another suspect. Adewumi Akim Temitope claimed that his mother, a 58-year-old woman, Mrs. Adewumi Adibola, gave him the consignment from Ibadan to hand over at to the agent to be exported. And the agent says that this is not the first time that, he had been doing this sort of business with the lady, that the woman has, that he was paid over 2.4 million naira to do the job. Already he had been given 2.1, that before he had been given a 2.1 million naira for this sort of consignment. So this is an ongoing business until she was caught this time around. You see how we call children out and say stop misbehaving, but this is a mother that has put her child in the way of the...
Vanguard, our last paper for this morning. Let's see. Final story of not taking. Maiduguri flooding. FG unveils identity of 281 fleeing inmates and recaptures 7. Edo Ondo polls, the world's watching us, says Anyako. FG delivers 1,200 CNG kits to 5 states. Then Nadi Usman has integrity to lead Labour Party, says NLC. Obi slams presidency over attempts to divert attention with U.S. polls. Okay, which story?
I'm taking the Anyoku Edo Ondo polls, the world is watching us, and this one says that the former Secretary General of the Commonwealth and Chairman of the Petrol, Chief Emeka Anyoku, has urged the federal government and relevant institutions to ensure that the forthcoming Edo and Ondo state governorship elections respectively are free and fair, cautioning that the international community was watching. Anyoku made the call in an interview with the news agency. He said the Edo governorship election is scheduled for 21st of September, while the Ondo is fixed for November 16. He also said that as a diplomat and an elder statesman, he said that the expectations of people and indeed the international community were that the two governorship elections will be credible. He urged the government, particularly INEC, to secure the security agencies and other relevant institutions to meet the expectations of the people. And he also said that our country is preparing for Edo and Ondo governorship elections respectively, and I have 3 observations to address the government of Nigeria, INEC, and others, which he respectively said, first, Nigerians, friends, and the whole community is watching. He also mentioned that he urges that the credibility of the results from the forthcoming elections, that it will also depend on the level of impartiality and transparency that the election demonstrates. That's why he says the eyes are on us. And for this one, I'll say that the incoming children, or we that are coming behind them, we're already seeing the precedents that a lot of our politicians are laying. And I do not think it's good enough for the ones who want to come into politics, because by and large, we still treat politics like a do-or-die affair. And it affects us in all areas, in all spheres of life, because the enactment or the voting in of bad leaders will bring bad policies, and it will still trickle down to bad, everything will just go haywire somehow. So the world is watching us.
All right, any other story in Vanguard? I was going to take Peter Obi. So Peter Obi obviously was taken on the presidency for comparing him to Trump. So according to his spokesperson, Mr. Ibrahim Umar, he said that he was speaking in a statement titled, "The desperate Obi traducers are kissing the dust." And he was saying that he was referring to the fact that many of his critics were dragging his name into the United States American election process, saying that they're linking him, saying that Obi is like Trump. And say we are very much aware of the motive behind these ridiculous comparisons, which is their uncanny way of currying favor to the undeserved, to currying favor so undeserved from the Democrats. Nigerians who mused over the adversary and fictitious comparison have tried to ask, will your calling Obi Trump mean that you're saying that Tinubu is Harris? I mean, just going back and forth. But it's interesting to see the comparison on both sides. Okay, let's move on now to our final paper, the Nigerian Tribune. Is there any story we've not taken here? Implementation of e-collab system on Lekki Ekpe corridor begins. It is to spend 15 billion naira on construction of Ado Iworoko Ifaki Federal Road. And survivors of Uniben building collapse recount ordeal. Okay, which story?
Lagos State is set to introduce an electronic call-up, that's the e-call-up system for managing truck movements within the Lekki Ekpe corridor. The Deputy Director of Public Affairs to the Ministry, signed a statement, and it's really about the commencement of this e-call-up system. So they said that they had actually, it would have started earlier, but they had to extend it based on a stakeholder's request, but it's going to be implemented now, and that will be September 23. They said that it is ready for implementation for sustainable, effective, and technology-driven solution in the Lekki Ekpe corridor. And I think I want to take this quote. It says, this is from the special advisor to the state governor, Mr. Sholagiwa, says that the Lekki Ekpe corridor, a key economic hub in Lagos, is home to numerous industries, as we all know, including Lekki Free Trade Zone, Dangote refinery, and the Lekki Deep Seaport. So efficient movement of goods and services is crucial for the state's economy. So the e-call-up system is an essential tool for sustainable development. So we'll love to see how it works out on the other side of town. As we know, we've had this e-call-up system on the Apapa side, and it didn't quite, it was not quite sustainable.
And Nigerians did, where we were sabotaged. They didn't adhere to the principles of parking and waiting to be called up. So we'll see if it works. I know that they are tracking, so we'll see. Hopefully technology should solve that problem. I think that's all we can take on front page review this morning. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, the only questions Nigerians are asking is, how much are we going to pay for fuel, especially the one coming from Dangote's refinery? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Download the Glow Cafe app today. You see here,
Hello, Niger. The time is right because the prize is right here. Be a part of our turbocharged studio audience for a chance to win amazing and mouth-watering prizes on The Price is Right. Visit www.thepriceisright.ng or The Price is Right on social media for more details on how to participate.
Registration is open to all Nigerians 18 years and above. Come on down, Niger.
It's about time.
The Price is Right is proudly brought to you by Smart Cash powered by Airtel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Made Kuti in the view. It's still 7 of 7, and we've been doing a whole lot of protesting. The only thing that remains is just to carry placard.
It's about 5 or 7, to be honest, because ask your question. I have so much to speak about once we finish.
We will not give you the time because it's 7 of 7.
I will make the time now. He said he will not ask questions about science.
No.
Neuroplasticity.
And based on...
He asked a question that was subjective about high life. And he did not finalize his answer about a Kuti question where there are only 3 of us.
Editor, scratch this part out.
That could have possibly composed the music.
Editor, scratch this part out.
Stupidity is an act of ignorance.
Hey God, Made.
Was composed by which Kuti?
Femi Kuti.
Is that your final answer?
God, I'm Sheon Kuti. No, wait, Femi Kuti.
You said
Femi Kuti. Wait.
You can't be allowed.
No, you've not asked me anything.
Everyone.
You've not asked me anything. So my final answer.
No. All I have to say is this show is really about drinking.
Yeah, that's the whole idea.
The questions don't matter.
That's the whole
Justice
idea.
is out the window.
We throw caution to
we
the
have
wind
no
right
morals here.
On the 7 of 7.
Thanks for staying with us. According to reports, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has commenced loading premium motor spirit as the PMS, otherwise known as Petrol, at the Dangote oil refinery and petrochemicals in Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos State. Now, many Nigerians woke up this morning to a release by the NNPCL giving us an idea of how much they purchased PMS from Dangote refinery, suggesting to Nigerians how much they intend to pay for petrol at the filling stations. And that's the conversation Nigerians are having today. How much do you expect us to pay, especially because we felt that once Dangote refinery starts, we'll be buying petrol cheaper at the pump. So you can call us. I mean, one of the reasons why we love this show is the ability for Nigerians to call in to express their views and thoughts on this issue. So everybody's talking about it, but this is the show where you can call in to share your own views. You can call us on 0810-764-1679, 090-241-63440. You can also send in your messages to @TVC Connect on X, and you can join us live on YouTube. We'll take your messages. So to help us on the conversation, we'll be having a financial analyst and economist. He's Mr. Tunde Olatunji. Good morning, Mr. Tunde. Are you there? Good to have you on the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So I'll come to you in a minute, but I'd first like to hear from the ladies and our viewers their thoughts so far on the pricing that was released by NNPCL this morning, and then come to you to get your expert perspective on it. But ladies, let me come to you. First of all, just like a means of recap, we got excited that federal government will be selling crude to Dangote in Naira, hoping that it will be cheaper. Suddenly, we're having issues with NNPCL saying boycott. Is it? They're not going to be picking up. They're going to be boycotting, picking up the fuel from his refinery. Eventually, they had meetings, and they've agreed to pick up, and we're told that 300 trucks are ready for distribution as of this morning. Now, how much are we going to pay for it at the pump prices? Now, so there are the issues of they are paying it in dollars. So NNPC has sent us message that they're buying it in dollars. So whatever you are paying now is based on dollars. The Naira conversion, you probably get that one in October. What are your thoughts right now? Because we are a bit confused. Almost 1,000 Naira in some states per liter.
Yeah.
Let me come to you, Nima. Your thoughts?
It was 1,000 something 200 in Bono this morning, according to the breaking news that we have. But they have a Naira to petrol arrangement that the president Naira crude to Naira, a Naira arrangement that will start in October that the president is working on. I'm still going to be hopeful because yesterday I lost this arrangement. I have insisted that petrol will drop at some point. It has not been working. When the scarcity was happening, there was this petrol station at Sele bus stop. They know themselves. That time petrol was still 5 something at NNPC, 6 something at other. They were selling 800. I buy there when I cannot queue. We used to buy at 850. When I've driven around Lagos, I will buy there. Now I don't know what they're selling. And I kept saying, it will drop, don't worry, it will drop. Then it got worse. Yesterday I said, they have started lifting at Dangote. As at Friday, all the trucks are packed. Everybody, they have lifted, they have carried. I did not know what the price would be. So I said, let me buy half tank. This morning I'm sober I cannot even call my husband to talk. I'm in my sober mood now. Because if I just bought my 855 at the NNPC, I filled my tank. I would not be caught here now. So, but I'm hopeful, still hopeful with my Agidi that by October things will improve and the prices will further come down because of that. Crude to Naira cannot be the same. We understand that Dangote, when they were having the MP, what's it called, the one that was, regulating. I said Dangote refinery wasn't ready. I'm trying to remember the agency. NPDR. They back and forth with them saying they were not ready. Dangote had gone to the US particularly to get his crude. Obviously, he bought it in dollar. As a businessman, what did you expect? So most likely that's the outcome of this petrol that we are buying, and most likely, so dollar is involved.
You, Mariam, Dr. Kami.
Okay, so for me, every time we discuss Dangote, it comes up with a lot of controversy. I'm feeling like we're not celebrating just this feat that in our own time, we are actually going to be selling crude oil that has been refined here and we'll put it in our cars. Nigerian crude, Nigerian oil, running our cars. So, for me, it's such a celebration. So that's on the one side. Now, the second side definitely is price crash. A lot of us have been expecting that there will be crash in price. But you remember we had the journalist here, I think it was last week, and he says that we would not see that immediate crash that we're talking about. Because for me, I thought that all the costs that there will be savings from transportation and logistics, it should reflect in the price. But they say, well, crude was bought in dollars, there are other things that affect it, so we will have this increased price for a bit. But I feel that, first of all, we need to understand that the Dangote coming on stream, coming on, is not first about crashing the price. It's really about the fact that we now can have petrol. Enough. We have enough. We're not going to be sitting down waiting, having long queues, having scarcity over long periods of time because for some reason the consignment hasn't come in, distribution is a problem. Now we have it, and I feel that we should celebrate that and look at that. Now, there seem to be, I don't know if it's politics, I don't know if it's marketing, gimmicks or tactic, where it seems NNPC and Dangote are at the table having a conversation, and then this one brings out a statement, the other party brings out a statement. So I don't understand the statement NNPC brought out saying that they have bought the petrol from Dangote at a certain price. Dangote to immediately saying, it's almost saying mischievous what NNPCL is doing, and says that, whatever it is that they are discussing with NNPC what the price is.
But they didn't tell us.
But they didn't still tell us what the price should be. Who should be telling us the price? I thought NNPC should be telling us the price. And I thought that Dangote should accept the price because this must have been based on the conversations they have had behind closed doors. So, for me, I really don't understand if it's politics, if it's marketing. What is it that they have preventing us from understanding or knowing? For me, I'm a complete layman in this area. So what I'm looking forward to is hopefully today we're able to figure out what the price would be, how much is it, if it's going to be more expensive, and for how long would it be that expensive? Because over time, people are not going to tell us that there isn't any amount of money that has been saved from having crude oil refined here in our soil, and the distribution channels is much shorter. There has to have been some money saved, and that should reflect in the prices of petrol.
Let me come to Dami, because there are some people saying that Dangote should be magnanimous. You're a Nigerian. Even though you paid this amount of money to buy the crude, you don't make it so expensive for us. Understand that this is something that we desperately need. Do you agree with that, or do you think that he's a capitalist and he's a businessman? He has to make his money. What are your thoughts on this whole? Let me get your initial thoughts.
I think I'll go with the fact that he's a businessman. And the way you buy might not be the way you sell. We all have different places that we purchase from. But if we also look at it, yes, we can also tamper justice with mercy. In cases where you see regular market owners now and somebody is selling this same phone for 1,000 naira and somebody says, I can sell this same phone for 950. It shows that one person is more compassionate than the other. But in all of this brouhaha of Dangote, NNPC, DPR, my major concern is uniformity in price. Because even as at now, we have this fuel station on one street, this fuel station in front, 810, the one next to it, 920, the one next to it, 1001. So what are we all doing? So now that we are going to be lifting from Dangote, which is from our soil, it is from here. It feels like the FUBU, for us, by us. Yes, so if it's going to be by us and it's going to be for us. Now, what are they going to do to uniform price such that you are not feeling like, it's only an NNPC that is selling at a cheaper rate. When you go to this fuel station, they are higher. When you go to that fuel, then we also have the challenge of credibility amongst this fuel station. The fuel station that, when you see, there's one thing in town that when you see commercial bus drivers in a particular fuel station, their fuel is good, their pump is accurate. And we keep bickering and we keep dragging back and forth on accuracy of pumps. And I think there was one video that went online and the pump was made to dispel PMS, and it was actually empty, it was blowing air. So how do we regulate? No matter the price, Nigerians have a way of bending, and we'll just find our way and still stand strong, smile like nothing is happening. But we can't continue to be cheated in broad daylight, rather, as if we do not have a say. So what is DPR going to do, especially in price uniformity, that we are going to pick from the same place?
That's why we have an expert on the house to give us an idea, because what we were thinking that the real market players, based on how much it costs me to get it from Dangote, would also determine how much I'm able to price at my various filling stations. So we'll see how that. But let me bring in Mr. Tunde Olatunji, who's an economist and financial analyst, to give us some insight into these issues going on around the Dangote refinery and NNPCL. Good morning, sir. Are you still there?
Yeah, good morning.
Yes. You've heard the ladies' perspective on this matter. Let me hear yours before we go into the solutions.
Well, I can understand how it feels, and the truth is that presently Nigeria is battling with a serious energy crisis, insecurity, and so all of this chaos has thrown up very serious far-reaching implications on an average Nigerian as well as our economy. The part of it that is also not quite worrisome is the fact that the constant bickering between NNPC and Dangote, I think in the interest of the nation and looking at the prevailing socio-economic situation in the country, I think both entities can actually spare Nigerians some of these additional headaches that they're throwing up. Yeah, so we agree that there are challenges. We agree that Dangote also needs to survive as a business man. We also know that NNPC needs to play a role. But I think it's also very important that as a mark of responsibility, these organizations that are responsible organizations are expected to be responsible. And in line with this argument or line of thought, we need to ensure that both of them spare us all of these arguments back and forth. Is not healthy to an average Nigerian. These are not the news that the people need to get right. Now, if you look at the statement from both sides, very clear. Dangote's primary responsibility is to make the product available. It's about availability of product. And we must not also forget that it is an open market. At some point, Dangote also made it very clear, if the Nigerian market is not taking its product, he already has off-takers beyond the shores of Nigeria. And it is purely business to him. And of course, we will not expect that what we have not been able to do over the years, the successive government that we have, if you have been not able to put our own refinery in place that would have checkmate issue of monopoly, I don't think anybody should now hold Dangote to ransom. He has invested his money. He has the right to run his business in a manner that will be sustainable, so that this business does not collapse. Again, it's also the fact that the role the NNPC is also playing now is the only part of the Petroleum Industry Act that bestows that responsibility on NNPC is when it is envisioned that there is going to be a sort of energy insecurity. So the NNPC is expected to serve as a supplier of last resort to guarantee energy security. And beyond that, except when you can envision there is the energy crisis, the role of NNPC is just to also serve like a player in the market space. It's not expected that NNPC should rely on Dangote or NNPC should operate like any other oil and gas business in the country, just like Dangote. NNPC should also be able to make his own product, refine his own product, sell his own product at his own rate. And that's why I said it calls for more sense of responsibility on both parties. Right. But because situations like this are envisaged by the law, And that's why the law states that whenever it is envisaged that there are going to be serious energy crisis, NNPC can come in as a supplier. And that's why you see this NNPC that is speaking on the price issue, because that validates the fact that we have serious energy crisis. So now, as it is now, I think the earlier the better in terms of bringing the Naira for crude agreement into operation.
Yeah.
Okay. It's clear that with the fluctuating exchange rate, if you do that part, the price of petrol would continue to skyrocket.
All right. Let me get a few more questions in for you.
So my colleague earlier had mentioned that certain factors are playing here that will eventually bring ease to Nigerians in terms of pricing, distribution, and availability of this product. But the NNPC in this arrangement is the sole distributor of Dangote's petrol within the country, and the NNPC has not conducted its activity in a way that we can trust them. It's almost as if the NNPC is struggling to convince us that this petrol, it must sell beyond a certain amount. They are bringing in, they already released the price. They are not even taking in, the factor of no landing costs and all of those factors in the pricing, the total package eventually. How do we hold the NNPC to account, number one? And how do we even develop some kind of trust for the NNPC in this arrangement?
There's a whole lot of burden on NNPC in terms of, making an average Nigerian to believe there is an entity that is serving the interests of Nigerians. And that's the starting point of my argument. You see, you don't engage. There are some things you don't do as a responsible organization. There are some things you don't even do, not even when it is an organization that has very strong affiliation with the government. Whatever error or actions the NNPC conducts rubs directly on the government. And the people are not really interested in the grammars that NNPC and Dangote are speaking. An average Nigeria is not interested in what framework you are using to arrive at your estimate. As far as an average Nigeria is concerned, it's bothered about how much is going to leave his or her pocket for him to get a pint or a liter of petrol. And that's what matters. So for me, it is height of his sensitivity to the plight of the people. When what we see today is an argument, this alone infuriates an average Nigerian. And we must know that both NNPC and Dangote holds, the people that you hold them that need to ensure that you are not seen as being deliberately sabotaging or intentionally creating a problem.
Exactly. Mr. Olatunji, let me take a step back, because I like it when people watch our show and they have clarity and they have a better picture of what is really going on out there. And the discussions still seem a bit confusing for many Nigerians. So the average Nigerian is thinking in their head, Dangote is a private man. He has finally refined crude on our land. NNPCL is mostly government, and they are thinking in their head that, NNPCL and Dangote have no business. NNPCL, go and refine your own refineries. You have Petrol, you have so many other ones that is outstanding. You have not touched this. Go and focus, because now you have a private player who has come into that into that same industry and is about to compete. So in my own head as a layman, NNPCL focus on the Port Harcourt refineries and fix that. Dangote now work directly with private marketers to be off-takers. They now compete on pricing, and now I can choose to go to Mr. John or Mrs. Y to go and buy my petrol for them based on how their pricing is. So that's what Nigerians are expecting. Suddenly we're hearing NNPCL pricing, federal government waiting for FEC, and we're confused that what's going on. So I need Nigerians to really understand, because all the grammar that is being spoken, many people don't get. It's flying over our heads. So break it down for us. Why is this not very why is it not seamless for Dangote to refine, marketers pick up, bring it to filling stations, and we buy?
Thank you very much. And, I'll continue from where I stopped that. I'm having you guys not interested in the grammar or the semantics that we use. They just want to get the product. And when you have a situation that we have primed the sector for a monopolistic tendency to happen, can't really tell who exploit that to his own advantage. There is nothing stopping, and that is what the law that we have today says. Anybody can own a refinery, anybody can refine products, anybody can sell, as long as you have the capacity. NNPC itself, being a major oil company in the country, has its own refineries that are yet to come to life, that have been abandoned over the years. So why is NNPC not focusing the energy on ensuring that the repeated deadlines that they have given to us, that this refinery will get working, is met? Exactly. Instead of thinking that it is Dangote that holds NNPC that responsibility of making sure that it delivers on its own mandate. And so until we have a set of shores that has this product available, on that premise alone, there is no reason why Nigeria should import products. Again, is this a medium or a long-term approach, or is sustainable? It's also sustainable. What is sustainable is that the Nigeria refinery should get to work. The Warri, the Port Harcourt refinery, the Kaduna refinery should come back to life. All other investors who have put money into modular refineries, we have them around today. Niger export petroleum products. And what is the capacity of the refinery in Niger? It's just a fraction. It's just like some of the modular refineries that we have issued licenses, but we have not even given them the necessary support for them to come to life. We will continue to be in this mess and continue to speak grammar until we have other players active in that sector, until NNPC realizes that its primary focus should be on the local refining of our own product, making petrol and related products available, such that is the only way you can checkmate Dangote. It's not by telling Dangote you must sell at this rate, you must do at that rate. However, in the meantime, while NNPC gets itself together, it is not also say if there's anything that can make this thing even come before October 1, it won't be out of place. Let Dangote have access. It's like saying, this is my own crude. If I my crude for me, let me take my crude from you and sell at any rate I want to sell to Nigerians. Nobody will do it. Nobody is against that. Dangote itself is not against that. It's a very simple thing. Tell Dangote, any other source crude oil, that man, the facility that's about 650,000 barrels per day. Yeah. Nigeria cannot even take all their deserving. Let Nigeria take his own crude oil to Dangote, refine, pay him premium for refining, and then you sell at the rate that is realistic, that you can afford to do it. Because energy is critical to the economy of any nation, particularly Nigeria. And we must be mindful of the insecurity that this will trigger.
All right. Yes.
The NMDPR had said that Dangote was trying to become a monopoly in the business, as if we had no other refineries. We are aware that in Edo State there are two refineries. One is the Edo Refinery and Petrochemical Company, and it's a modular refinery. Total of the two can take 75,000 barrels per day. We know other states like that who have refineries. I expect that Akwa Ibom, with their strength, should even run a refinery on their own. So how can we compel NNPC to allow these states, refine and distribute the petrol for their own people, to break that monopoly that Dangote stands the opportunity of getting?
Yeah, thank you very much. That's why I said during years back, and then I think that was even before the coming of Buhari, or in the early part of Buhari, close to 40 or 50 modular refinery licenses were issued. And out of these, only very few of them are surviving. We must understand that that sector itself, that oil sector, is a very complicated sector with strong men and women who are profiting from this chaos and they want it to continue. It is not the duty of the government and the regulators to ensure that we are able to effectively demobilize whatever evil machinery that might be in place to hold Nigeria by the jugular. And the only way, the simplest way to do this is just like any other. Once there is availability of product and the alternative, people will go to where it's selling at the cheapest and most affordable rate. And NNPC has what it takes to do this. And that's what I'm saying. Instead of trying to shift blades and try to hold, it even sounds somehow, to believe that an NNPC must need a Dangote refinery to do its business. It's a misnomer. Right. And that's why all our modular refineries, now we see how we can give them the necessary support. Some of them has argued in the past that they are unable to get the crude to feed their refinery.
All right,
and we begin to look at some of this and unbottle it. Can we also ensure that some of anybody that has the product is able to take, for instance, if you have a functional refinery in Warri, you say in Akwa Ibom, that refinery, if it's modular, the concept is not for that refinery to transport products from Akwa Ibom to Osun. Serve your immediate constituent. Right. Serve your immediate environment. Then you have let it serve it. That is the concept of modular refinery.
Let me go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue our conversation, and then we open our phone lines for Nigerians to call in. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
As the morning light filters in, the Max Breakfast kickstarts your day from the bedside.
We bring you the morning vibe and plenty of ginger to start your day right.
Join us on the Max Breakfast as we help you seize your day one step at a time.
On Max Hits, we've got the ultimate playlist for you. We give you back-to-back.
And all the biggest news from the world of entertainment. Only on Max Hits.
Area! Waiting the apple, waiting the shop. Tune into our award-winning waiting the 102.3 Max FM.
Lagos, Nigeria, you're welcome to the Max Drive.
Whether you're there for inside motor, you're there for inside traffic, we're there for you with a Max Highway.
You know what it is. It's the Max House Party. King Dion, DJ Charlie Shee. Let's go!
102.3 Max FM. Hit music for Lagos.
Thanks for staying with us. So I think I like what how Mariam started earlier, because the truth is, as Nigerians, we focus on the negative, but she reminded us that this is actually a good time, because the fuel in our cars was refined in our country. It has never happened in our own lifetime. Never. So this is a big first for some of us. Maybe others are not. But me,
in our life, we're millennials. The Warri refineries worked up to the 90s now.
For me, I don't have a car. I didn't have a car. The car I bought in this country, I have never used a Nigerian refined petrol. So that's a good thing for some of us. Secondly, it's a Nigerian. It's been distributed here. So these are good things, right? And it's going to be available. So as we are celebrating that, and my question is to Mr. Olatunji, and I think I asked Dami earlier, or the ladies, that do you think, even as a businessman, should Dangote be magnanimous such that even though he'll be going at a loss in the next few months, should he, just for the sake of the season, this new feat, should he totally crash the price of petrol for now, at least until we start the Naira transactions in October? What do you think?
Well, that would be a corporate decision for an investor to make. I mean, because number one, for you must be able to establish what is even its own cost of production per liter. You need to know that. For us to know that at the rate at which it's selling, because he issued a statement last week to say that, earlier this week, to say that what he's doing, is doing it in the interest of Nigeria. I won't be able to speak on that because I don't even know his own, costs of production per liter. Then again, it's also the fact that we must understand that, issues like this are quite complicated. And it's very difficult to say if as a nation, we realize that subsidy of our petroleum product is not sustainable. How do you now think a man who had borrowed money to put it up would subsidize for Nigerians? Because technically that's what it means. If we say you should sell at a loss, it's like saying the subsidy should be Dangote says when it may be very difficult. But we have achieved something. It's just for us to be able to manage our success. Nigeria now has a refinery that can refine products that will not only meet its local needs, but also make us a net exporter of petroleum products. If there is nothing, a major takeaway from this is that the money, the very scarce forex that Nigeria has been using to bring in products, we can save it. That alone is huge. It's massive. Yeah. I imagine if Nigeria has been able to achieve this feat in the last 20 years, our economy will not be in this mess. The forex crisis that we have will not be here.
Yeah.
I've spoken on this station before to say that while we look at other ways by which we can bring out the demand on our forex, until we're able to take out the big elephant, all of the other measures will not add up. For decades, the number one drainer of our forex has been petroleum products. So that alone means that we are going to now have a significant reduction on the demand for forex, which will eventually have an effect on the exchange rate over time.
Exactly.
So we have achieved that. Can we now manage our success better?
Thank you.
Can we begin to see how the stakeholders will look at collaboration rather than confrontation?
Okay.
Can we be mindful of the consequences of this on the psyche of an average Nigerian?
Right.
At times, it's not even the fact that you are going to pay more that matters, but the drama that surrounds it can even get people to start feeling, start having terrible headache.
Right,
So these are some of the things that we must look into. Nigerians have achieved something good, but can we manage our success?
Okay.
Can we now, in the same way, demand that NNPC should make sure that even if it's one of the refineries,
right,
even if it's one of the refineries, should get working. Can we now give support to other local refineries so that at the end of the day, once you're able to ensure that you diversify the source of your supply, you won't need to tell anybody to bring down your price.
Exactly.
Because competition will naturally force it down.
Exactly. Thank you. Let me let Maria jump in here.
Okay, I like where we're going now, which is leveraging on what I believe is a huge success for our economy. But, I'm sure beyond the marketing gimmicks and pricing going back and forth, there are Nigerians who are business people and they're thinking, it looks like business is going to move from exportation and importation-based, petroleum business and more on now locally refined. What do you think are the businesses or the markets that this will open for people who have long wanted to enter into the oil and gas business, and they're thinking, okay, maybe now that we have a working refinery in Nigeria, how How can a regular Nigerian leverage on this feat?
You know, one of the biggest problems that we have over the years is that we have a product, or we have a sector that gives us, you know, not less than 90% of our foreign exchange earnings. Over the years, you know, the statistics are beginning to change very recently with improvement in non-oil sector exportation. Now, but that same sector contributes less than 10% to our GDP. That means we have not been able to develop the value chain of the oil and gas. And that's what, you know, when we discuss about this, we talk about petrol, we talk about the derivatives from crude oil. It's not just petrol, diesel, and kerosene. There are so many other petrochemical products that before now Nigeria cannot even talk about it. In the state have to import them because you are not refining locally. And with this development, all of these other sectors will be created. You are going to have, you know, multiplier effect of this on the economy. Look at the number of trucks that were moving towards Lekki Sunday night. The haulage sector itself would have, you know, multiplier effect. That axis, that corridor will begin to witness improvement. If tomorrow you have something happening, if you have been to the Warri refinery or Port Harcourt refinery, even where you don't even have refinery, look at in Ibadan, where you have the Akpata in Ibadan, where all you just have was just a depot. You will realize that the economy of those areas revolves around those big industries. But when it closed down, nothing was happening. The economy around that place also went down. People would have to go into some of these areas and build hotels, build motels. People will flip over so that they can have products tomorrow. You are going to begin to see all manners of other products. You are going to see, you know, some other derivative of crude oil that we now have access. One of the things that has been so, you know, I'm on national TV, don't let me use just crazy over the price that even when we're swapping products, you take crude oil that can give you as much as 7, 8, 9 products.
Let me pause you for a second, Mr. Olatunji, because I have a caller who's been holding for a while. I want to take Mr. Bashir. Mr. Bashir from Abulegba. Good morning. Sorry for keeping you.
First of all, I wanted to congratulate you. You are doing so much. You are doing for this country. We should appreciate you. So, as it is now, the best thing for me to voice out all these things. So, I will personal gas station somewhere.
Oh, I really wanted to hear you because it was a bit muffled. I didn't hear you. Let me let Mr. Olatunji finish what he was saying. Mr. Olatunji, let me let you land your point. Yes.
So, like I was saying, all of this loss that we have incurred in the past as a nation, even by way of non-refining, even when we're swapping, all of this will now be reversed as gain to us. So it simply means all other sectors that are dependent on crude oil, you know, derivatives will now come back to life. Businesses around that will come back to life. You can see the Lagos State government was saying that we are going to introduce Eco-Lock effective, is it Sunday or so?
Yeah.
Now it simply means the IT sector will come back to life. There are going to be new technologies to drive this sector. The opportunity is massive. Job will be created. You know, opportunities will come back to life. And that's why I'm saying this success, Nigeria just needs to manage this success.
Okay.
And then our ability to effectively manage this success will also serve as an encouragement to other investors to come and invest there. Okay. We must not forget that we have a law that has deregulated this sector now. It's not like before that it's purely, you know, the government responsibility.
Okay, let me get a few more questions for you.
Okay, I have a question.
Go ahead.
The Dangote refinery is a 650,000 barrel capacity refinery. So we're looking at it not serving just Nigerians. It's going to deal with this oil subsidy paid and transferred to our West African brothers. Also, it's an opportunity for the West African countries to come in as we are looking and partner and see how they can also get petrol eventually. Are you looking at NNPC? Is it possible that NNPC is also insisting on controlling this? Because, you know, they're insisting it's a deregulated market, but yet they're controlling pricing here. Is there a way NNPC can limit Dangote's business within this sector of, you know, selling to our West African neighbors?
Yeah.
Now, the way it is presently, Dangote itself confirmed that 95% of his product is being taken outside the country, that he has ready buyers already. What that simply means is that we really don't have control as to who Dangote sells to. But because he has a capacity, he has a refining capacity that is more than what Nigeria needs. Okay. We also need the surplus is not what will happen to the surplus. The surplus is also in a way going to help Nigeria because he will not sell the surplus in naira, it will be sold in dollars. And we need foreign exchange. So Dangote also becomes a foreign exchange earner as a country. So whichever way it goes, it becomes a blessing to us. But like I said the other time, it is not good in an open market economy to also begin to encourage monopolistic tendencies. And that is why today, with what is happening in Dangote, that should not be enough reason for us to forget about all other products that we have. But by ensuring that all other companies, too, including our national company, comes into play. Eventually, it may even be that the needs of Nigeria will not be met by one or two of NNPC refineries and maybe some other modular refineries. And Dangote's business might actually be to export purely. I mean, there are so many refineries outside the shores of Nigeria that don't even sell their product within their own country because their country is self-sufficient.
Okay. Thank you very much.
In this product. So for us, I think it's a good thing that Nigeria has gotten to this level.
Right.
However, we must manage this. We must encourage that there's collaboration. Synergy must come to play. Not just between Dangote and NNPC, but for everybody in that sector. NNPC must realize that
Mr.
now
Olatunji,
it is not just a regulator.
Yeah. Let me take Emmanuel. He's been holding for a while. Good morning, Emmanuel. You're live. Hello, Emmanuel.
I can hear you.
Please, go ahead. You are live.
Okay, thank you very much. You see, even in Edo State, because I'm speaking from Edo State now. Can you hear me?
It's very, go ahead.
Okay, in Edo State, when the Edo State government will build that refinery, the modular refinery, all Edo individuals were thinking that at the end of the day, they will be able to get at least this product and there will be no intricacies concerning how to get the crude. But it was surprising, even a government, a sub-government like the state government, could not be able to navigate its way to get crude. So at the end of the day, we are now hearing that it's not about building the modular refinery. There's a way you have to get your way to get crude. That is where that investment has stayed, even as I'm talking now. Even the government, the state government cannot be able to negotiate with a government of the day or federal government to be able to get this crude. Not to that alone. Look at the gas. I don't say we are very rich in gas. But we cannot be able to, you are ladies there. You know amount of, because I'm speaking as a layman. But looking at everything, I believe the federal government has some power. There is no cabal or anybody that is holding the jugular of this nation. At least with the federal government in place, sincere federal government in place, they should be able to stand their authority and stand their ground and be able to say, okay, this is how I want this thing to operate. Yeah. They should be able to weigh in their, big power to be able to at least streamline all this so that the country can benefit for what we have in this country.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Let me let Dami get your question.
Okay, Mr. Olatunji, my question now is that with this new feat of Dangote kicking off, offloading supply of PMS and other activities, are we looking at the brighter side of a termination of queues going forward? I think most of us over 30-something years that have been alive, most of us have grown into seeing incessant queues, especially during some period. So is this Dangote refinery going to eliminate fuel queues going forward? That's just all I want to know. Does it look good enough that moving on till probably the end of our lives we will not have such scarcity anymore?
NNPC willing.
If NNPC does not interfere or stifle.
I think once we don't create unnecessary bottleneck, the supply in the country, it is on record that today Nigeria has capacity to not just meet its local demand, but to also meet the demand of other parts of the world. So the supply end, which has been a major issue for decades, has been effectively addressed with that singular investment. So we can see a situation where we will not find ourselves in this issue of queue. But the question on the lip of an average Nigerian now is affordability. How affordable will the product be? And I think it's in stages. So that availability has been largely answered with the capacity that we have. All that needs to be done is for all the regular NNPC. Let us see Dangote as a partner.
Okay.
While NNPC gets its own facility, if NNPC gets its own facility together tomorrow, what NNPC can also take care of the Nigerian nation, and NNPC can now decide to do whatever it likes with his own product too. It's his own business as well. The NNPC today has also been so in terms of availability, I think Nigeria has been able to scale that order in a very long time.
Let me take this call from Hamed, calling from Auchi. Good morning, Hamed. You live?
I do people are on today.
Hello, Hamed. You live? Hamed? Okay, let me ask you a final question because I'd like to actually open our phone lines for Nigerians to call in on this matter. But oh, Hamed, you're there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, please go ahead. You're live. Hello?
I'm still there.
I'm having, please go ahead.
Okay, whatsoever I see upon this whole issue in Nigeria is that hello, can you hear me?
Very clearly.
So I say whatsoever is behind all this Nigeria for scarcity of a and Dangote refinery is that even the Dangote itself and the Nigeria government, they are all one. And this is Nigeria. Let's depart. They say this is Nigeria. They are all one. So Dangote is the government because most of the government has a share in that particular refinery built in Lagos here.
Okay, we couldn't get Hamed very well. I wanted to ask you, Mr. Olatunji, maybe you can take a few comments on social media. But the federal government is excited about this CNG, compressed natural gas, coming to be available, especially for transport workers. In your view, do you think that when these CNG kits are distributed across board, it would probably influence the cost of petrol because hopefully many of these transporters might not even need petrol anymore. Can you see the future of what it's like in the next 1 year when we have over 1 million transportation vehicles with CNG kits and not even needing to go to the filling stations? Will this affect prices? Do you think Nigerians will begin to shift and move over to big choices to do CNG instead of going to petrol?
Yeah.
Globally, the future of the oil and gas industry is in gas. Globally, including Nigeria, that's the future. That's the future. And in terms of the need to have clean energy is the best. In terms of cost effectiveness is the best. And for you to know how blessed this country is, that all we need is just to get our acts right. Nigeria's gas reserve is even more than the oil, the oil reserve it has. That's how blessed we are. So in terms of supply, availability of gas, it will be available. However, the major challenge for now is in the conversion kit, which is not within the reach of an average Nigerian. And it's good that an initiative has been put in place to drive this, to say, make it available to an average Nigerian. And we know that with time, once there is more investment in this sector too, the prices of the kits will come down. And I believe so strongly that there's going to be a shift. There's going to be a shift of the discussion from oil, from petrol to gas in the next decade. It won't even be up to 10 years because that's why the future is. It's cheaper today. If you see anybody that runs his vehicle on CNG, will tell you it's far cheaper than you running or not like that. So eventually, it's going to be about affordability. It's going to be about availability. So in terms of availability, Nigeria has the reserves. We have what it takes. The only challenge with that now is in the conversion kit. Except you are buying a vehicle that is powered by gas directly. But if you are not, you have to convert what you have. And once the cost of conversion is coming down, which is the way by which government can incentivize investment and the diverting the usage of from oil and gas only. Sorry, from oil only to gas. I'm aware that the government is trying to give support to the public transporters to have conversion, I think, for free in some instances, depending on where. And so I think more of these are some of the things to encourage government to do more from some of the savings that we are making from all, so that at the end of the day, these are more realistic ways by which you can give palliative to the people.
All right, let me get one more final question for you so we can wrap up. Go ahead.
So just as you said earlier, you said Dangote can't sell his petrol, to anybody outside or within the country. But Dangote insisted the price for his petrol will be fixed by FEC. The NNPC insists that they would be the sole distributor of this petrol, and they've issued a letter of credit of $120 million to Dangote for 25 million liters of petrol. All these factors are scary because the NNPC would later come out and there will be a cost that will come back to Nigerians that, will be like a subsidy. That's my conspiracy. Is there any hidden cost in this arrangement apart from what we know, now, or should we be expecting one to come up later?
Yeah. I know he's not sure.
Well, like I said the other time, ideally, if the issue of supply or monopolistic tendency is not there, the role of NNPC is not even fixing of prices. And as it is technically, it is not as if NNPC, because if you look at the Petroleum Industry Act, it said it clearly. NNPC is no longer a regulator. However, when you sense that there are going to be energy security, NNPC will come in as just to save the nation from getting itself into crisis. And that's why NNPC is using its own wherewithal and capacity. And the fact that it's also an investor in Dangote, that's one thing people do not forget. NNPC also owns a share of Dangote refinery. So NNPC is just trying to say, okay, can we use our power, the muscle, the financial muscle we have, as well as the name, and the fact that we are also an investor, to talk to Dangote, so that in case Dangote is selling at 892 naira today through NNPC, perhaps if NNPC was not involved, maybe it would have been 1,000 naira. That's exactly what the NNPC is trying to do. And the only way by which NNPC can save itself from being entangled, if, for instance, NNPC's intentions, for the sake of this argument, is clean and NNPC is actually just trying to protect the nation, the only way NNPC can save itself from this is to ensure that there is diverse source of refined products in the country, is to boost supply. It does not become the business of one man to feed the entire nation of its petroleum needs. Once that is done, the law is very clear. NNPC will have to stay clear of even negotiation with Dangote. Let Dangote look for its own customers. Let NNPC sell at its own rates. Let others set up refinery, and that is the best way by which we can run this. But
we need to wrap up with you, Mr. Olatunji. Unfortunately, I'm running out of time.
Where we are coming from. We may not be where we should be, but we are not also where we used to be.
Right. Unfortunately, we have to wrap up with you, Mr. Olatunji. But I really thank you for joining us this morning. Mr. Olatunji is an economist and a financial analyst. He joined us this morning to share his own perspective on this whole Dangote refinery and the pricing released by NNPCL. I'd like to end by reading a bit from Engineer Tijani's message. He says Dangote is a businessman and his refinery is not operating as a charity or not for-profit entity. The motive of any entrepreneur is profit maximization. What DR will do is to ensure product availability and not affordability at the moment until we have options from other refineries. What this means is that federal government may have no choice than to subsidize fractional part of the cost of the gas station until the cost of crude to DR is cheaper than the imported ones. With the DR product tracking system, we can reduce the quantities of products being smuggled out of the country, and the subsidy will be stable. Families, companies cannot have the right budget with the volatility of prices in petroleum products. So I think we can end with that. That's all we can take on this segment. We're wishing Nigerians the best. As Miriam said, it's a good time. However, it's still fairly difficult because we don't have the pricing yet. We're also optimistic that in the future, it will get cheaper because there will be options once CNG is properly rolled out to across all Nigerians. Let's go to a short break. When we come back, we'll discuss very briefly the Edo election. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
It's the hunger taste a million. As the morning light filters in, the Max Breakfast kickstarts your day from the bedside.
bring you the morning vibe and plenty of ginger to start your day right.
Join us on the Max Breakfast as we help you seize your day one step at a time.
On Max Hits, we've got the ultimate playlist for you. We give you back-to-back.
And all the biggest news from the world of entertainment, only on Max Hits.
Area, waiting the apple, waiting the shop. Tune into our award-winning waiting the 102.3 Max FM.
Lagos, Nigeria, you're welcome to the Max Drive.
Whether you're there for inside motor, you're there for inside traffic, we're there for you with a master way.
You know what it is. It's the Max House Party. King Dion, DJ Charlie Shee. Let's go!
102.3 Max FM. Hit music for Lagos.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show here for that long.
Ladies and gentlemen, number one unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number one on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying.
So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
It's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
This is. That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person you scissors? What is his name?
That woman.
Bam! Bam!
Yeah, today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's catch up now.
It have been intense by the candidates of 17 political parties ahead of the September 21st election. Looking at the choices so far is saying that it's a 3-horse race. And joining us right now in Abuja studios is the constitutional lawyer and Deputy Director Counsel, Mr. Andrew Emwanta. Welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. There's a lot of excitement going on in Edo right now because, you know, it's 17 parties here, but many experts have said that this is really a 3-horse race because we have the APC, the PDP, and the LP. And there's so many factors that are being considered. I mean, we hear of the Godfather factor, we have the charisma, the articulation of some, not all, the history of some of these candidates. Let me start with your own perspective on the election in general. How do you see it? What do you think would come to play in electorates coming out to actually vote and participate?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I think you are right if you say it's a 3-horse race. And the reason why most analysts have made that assertion is not far-fetched. Because we use the result of the last general election that took place in 2023 as a benchmark in asking ourselves that simple question: which are the three major political parties? And of course, it is the PDP, the Labour Party, and the APC. And you look at the results from last election, PDP went into that general election occupying 3 senatorial seats. They lost 2 to the APC in Edo North and Edo Central. And coincidentally, the occupant of the senatorial seats in Edo Central is the APC candidate, my candidate. Then in Edo South, PDP lost to the Labour Party. So if somebody is saying that it is a serious race, the answer is right, because the National Assembly election, from the huge number of seats the PDP had, they were now left with just 1 seat in the House of Reps and the entire National Assembly. So going into this election, you find that there's a whole lot of tension, and it stems from statements like what the governor said during their grand finale rally, when he said this election is a do-or-die affair. And I think that's where I would disagree with Governor Obaseki. First, Edo people are peace-loving people. We have always maintained that stance since 1999. He's an outgoing governor, so I don't think it's a do-or-die election. So you should be very wary with the kind of statement he makes, because at the fact that they didn't sign the peace accord, that appears to be a mindless garbage. It's an indication that, just as the governor said, that it will be a do or die, that even people around him, he made that reference, that if these people do, we are going to die. People around Obaseki will not die. The election does not come as one of those battles or war where lives will be lost. No, it will be a peaceful election. It will be a process to choose Obaseki's successor. It is not the end of the world. His tenure has ended, so you should allow Edo people to make a free choice.
Let me get a few questions for you. Go ahead.
The mandate that will be given will come from Edo people and not from those in government.
All right, go ahead, Nima.
So the governor and the PDP have refused to sign this peace accord. This is because they have certain fears. Number one is that the governor says his communal police has been cancelled by the IGP for certain reasons. And because of that, he doesn't have trust for the federal in these elections. What do you have to say about this?
Yeah, thank you. I don't think it is right for Obaseki to complain, because the police he operates, as the Edo State Security Network, lately have become a nuisance. Remember some time ago when the candidate of the APC and the deputy governor came into Benin, because they didn't want them to exit the airport, there was a security presence of some of these vigilantes at the entrance. And guess what? They shot at the convoy of the APC candidate, and his police only died. And the individuals behind it, some of them were wearing police uniform, they were armed, and subsequently, much as there were calls for the police to ban the security outfits, because under the watch of Obaseki, we've had a vigilante that operates even more than the police. They involve in arresting people. They involve in attacking opponents. During the last local government election Obaseki organized, it was with these security people that Obaseki rigged the election. So for us, it is a welcome call that was made, and the IG responded, because you cannot use persons who are not known to law under the constitution. The only police force we have in Nigeria is the Nigerian police force. These people operate under the cover of Obaseki's protection, and they've committed all kinds of atrocities. Just recently, the chairman of a local government, the Eastern West local government chairman that has been remanded, went into a campaign venue of the APC, attacked people. Most of the people there were injured by members of these vigilantes of Obaseki police. So the ban, Obaseki cannot cry more than the bereaved. You have a lot of people who have been affected by this. So as governor, you should allow the Nigerian police to do their work. The commissioner of police before now was being controlled by the governor. But now that this present one is not ready to come under his control, he's crying blue murder. So I think the man should realize he's leading government. The other time, these persons who were involved in that murder were to be arrested by the police. The governor threatens that if the police arrest them, Nigeria will burn. Remember that video went viral. Just last Saturday, as I earlier mentioned, the man said that for this election, because they have banned his own police, that it is going to be a do or die election.
All right.
The blood of an adult person is not what Obaseki is saying. Our election is not what the blood of any adult person.
Right.
So the governor should be called to order and must realize that adult people must be allowed to vote this Saturday.
All right.
This is not a government election, but it's an election that Nigerians are ready to participate in. Adult people are ready to participate in.
Let me get you a few more questions. Because of time, I want to get as many questions as possible. Go ahead, Ami.
Okay, sir. I've been looking at social media and reading different narratives on the incoming election of Edo State. And I've seen that a lot of Edo residents and indigenes have pointed accusing finger at Godwin Obaseki for not fulfilling a lot of promises he made to them in the 2 term that he stayed in office as the governor of Edo State. Now, this falls on his credibility to also say that I'm bringing somebody out who will be your governor. Looking at the person as even a sitting senator, do you think Godwin Obaseki has a chance to convince the Edo State people to come out and vote for his candidate of his party, looking at the fact that he has been accused numerous times of not even fulfilling his own campaign promises?
Ask an APC man that question. Okay, go ahead. I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. I will just identify 3 promises Obaseki made which he didn't fulfill. First, he promised the people of Edo North that he will give them an airport. As we speak, nothing was done about that project. Second, he promised the people of Edo South 2 things, that he's going to give us an enterprise park, or what he called an industrial park. He invited the vice president. A whole lot of taxpayers' funds were made available to him to organize that event. They did groundbreaking. As we speak, there's nothing like an industrial park anywhere. He even said that the industrial park will be connected to a seaport called Gelegele. And it's very unfortunate that that Gelegele seaport was one of those conduit pipes. And who was part of this team? Alago Daro is his economic team, and the chairman of Alago Daro is also Ighodalo, the candidate of the PDP. So for us, this man has failed woefully. You talk of Edo Central, there's nothing to show for what the government has occupied that office in the past 7.5 years. You discover that Aso Ighodalo comes from that area. He was chairman of Alago Daro. Nothing, not even a single tree was planted by Aso Ighodalo. He wants to be governor without anything to show for his 7 years and how many months in Obaseki's government.
Okay.
Besides that, you find that there are 5 areas that has created serious cause for concern for Edo people. The first is insecurity. That's a big elephant in the room. A situation where the governor uses his police to oppress the people. A situation where kidnapping has become the order of the day in Edo Central. And I tell you that our candidate supported the security network of people of that senatorial district called Atalakpa, with over 10 vehicles with funds. What was the contribution of Aso Ighodalo? A paltry sum of 500,000 to those who came to visit him in Lagos. And that was what they used in transporting themselves back. So my candidate has a 5-point agenda. I'll just quickly run through those 5 points. First is the issue of security. We want to deal with the issue of security headlong. And also, road development. Benin City, as we speak, has the best network of bad roads. Whenever it rains in Benin City, you need a flying boat to move around. The local government I come from, Ego, has very terrible roads. The only thing the governor has commissioned in the last 4 years in my local government are street lights. And it does that with so much fun and fanfare. Third is the issue of affordable health care. Remember, the only hospital that we have standing was one built by Adams Oshomole 8 years ago. The revamped Edo Specialist Hospital close to Ring Road. Obaseki demolished the Central Hospital we have close to Ring Road and built a museum which he has abandoned because he thought he could get back those artifacts that were stolen from Benin. And Stella Obasanjo, he started innovating 4 years ago, is still an abandoned hospital. So we are going to take the issue of affordable and accessible and quality healthcare very seriously. Then the fourth is water and agriculture. The problem we have is that Obaseki, through his friends in Lagos, have captured communal lands in the name of commercial agriculture. But what my candidate is offering is food security. We must give the people back their lands. We must encourage them by giving them farming inputs, by giving them soft loans, which Obaseki has failed to do, and even fertilizers they don't get. The last but not the least is the issue of value-driven education. Before now, Edo State was a tourism destination for education. Education tourism was one of those things that was at the heart. During the campaigns, we discovered that most of these schools that Oshomola built have been abandoned by Obaseki. You go to a secondary school in some of our rural communities, they have either 1 or 2 teachers. And even if you say they have 2 or 3 teachers, one of them is the headmaster. So Obaseki has refused to employ teachers, and our candidate has promised that he's going to fund education from the tertiary down to the primary level. Our state university, Obaseki ran that place without a government council for over 4 years. As we speak, we have lecturers there that have been owed salaries for over 20 or 20-something months. So most of what Obaseki said is done is on the social media.
Okay.
But when you come on ground, you find nothing.
Yeah.
So the 5-point agenda of the APC candidates will deal with this problem.
All right, let me.
Candidate was elected last year is because of his track record of performance.
Yeah.
He brought a new winning streak. PDP had occupied the senatorial seat since 1999 for 25 years. For the first time, he was the opposition candidate that could defeat the PDP candidate because he has a track record of performance. As a private individual, he brought development to the various communities of the senatorial district.
Thank you very much, sir. I know you've just told us about the 5-point agenda of your candidate, but many critics, let me throw you a bit of a curveball. Many critics have said that the 3 candidates, we have the LP, who is with former president of the Nigerian Bar Association. He doesn't get any learned than that. And this is somebody who is bringing in new, fresh ideas, who is setting Edo, who plans to set Edo in a different trajectory. Now we have Obaseki, who nominated Asu Ighodalo. This is somebody who has been the chairman of Sterling Bank. This is somebody who has charisma, that has been able to articulate his values and economic plans for the state. Your candidate, on the other hand, many have said he's not articulate, he hasn't been able to express himself, he's probably just a core raw politician. And modern Edo citizens are saying, we want a new Edo with new citizens, new, very upwardly modern thinking. So how do you address those who are saying that they need a governor that has more charisma, who is able to put things in a more futuristic perspective for them, compared to a raw politician who obviously has been successful quite a bit in an APC working with a Shomali? Well, how do you address that?
First, you mentioned the Shomale's name, and I must quickly correct that impression people may have. I was one of those who campaigned for my candidates. Comrade Adams Oshomole as a leader, we have so much respect for him, but he had his own candidates. My candidate defeated Oshomole's candidate, and at the end we had a compromise. Unlike Obaseki, who brought Aswe from the blue and supported him, imposed him actually, and as we speak, they still have about 5 litigations in court. So, as a matter of fact, my candidate is coming with a whole lot of experience, both from the private sector. He has the companies, interweb, satellite company. They are into internet, and he also has Chapman computers. So for me, we have a candidate that Edo people have elected in the Central Senatorial District after the PDP had occupied that seat for over 25 years, and it was a trust that people from that Senatorial District has given to him. And as such, what we are bringing to the table is something new. His vision is a new Edo that is rising. Unlike the person you have in the PDP, he has been in government for the past 7 years, 7 years and some months running as chairman of Obaseki's economic team with little or nothing to show for it. My brother Akpata, I'm a lawyer. He was our NBA president. Yes, we elected him as an NBA president, but you cannot compare association politics with real partisan politics. He's just cutting his teeth in partisan politics. And just like Aswe Ighodalo, he will be featuring Edo politics for the very first time. Aswe's voters card was obtained just recently. At the time of the PDP primaries, he didn't have the voters card. This will be the very first election he's voting in. But this is a man that has been in government for 7 years. So these are, as my candidate said in his BBC interview, and just to correct that impression, he has been talking to the media. He did a 30-minute interview with BBC, and he spoke very eloquently. At the flag of the presidential grand finale of our rally, because the president was supposed to be there, but because he was in England, the vice president was there. That was a grand finale rally. He spoke so eloquently, to the 5-point agenda. He spoke to his 5-point agenda, and that's the kind of person we want. He's not known as a talkative, and our mantra is less talk and more work. Yes. Obaseki came speaking grammar in 2016. He came speaking grammar in 2020. But today we have a good network of bad roads in Edo State. We have a governor that when federal government gives palliatives, he hides it to the bag to shove to members of his political party, and in some cases they will now sell to private individuals. We want a government that is accountable to Edo people.
Let me get you another question.
But we use Edo people to develop our states.
Let me get in the question. Go ahead, Mariam.
Okay, so mine is a little bit similar with the previous question, but a bit specific to the LP candidate. So we know that the obvious opponent for the APC is the PDP. But you know, LP has come, especially your candidate, is coming on the back of the latest darling of politics, Mr. Peter Obi. And we hear that his last outing in Edo State, it was quite a, you know, a gathering. Are you not afraid, or what are your concerns that this may be, you know, like LP has already shown to be a party that will sneak up on you without you knowing? There's a lot of concentration on PDP, but what is your strategy with working LP, not just the candidate, but the party LP itself that seems to just drag a lot of young people and, you know, influence a lot of young people? How do you think this will play in Edo State?
Yeah, thank you. I think of the candidates, the real threat, I will be honest in saying this, we have is the Labour Party, and I'll tell you why. The PDP has 2 old people as their candidates. Also, Wadalo is 66, his running mate is his age mate, just some months older than him. And those people, we don't want all these people who, if they were civil servants, ought to have retired. We don't want anybody that Obaseki presents. Obaseki has zero respect for our traditional institution. They came into Benin with the presidential candidate that our candidates defeated last year, Atiku, and some governors. They didn't pay any respect to the Oba of Benin. And this is what Obaseki has shown in the last 7.5 years. Complete disrespect of the Oba of Benin. And we have a candidate who, when he saw that the governors came, took them to the Oba to receive the royal blessings, because he's a young man that appreciates the importance of our traditional institution. He is 53, going to 54, I think he's 54, and his running mate, I'm older than his running mate. His running mate just clocked 44. So we want new blood. That is why, because our party commands the control of youth in Benin City, we see him as a threat, not Aso Egudalo, who has retired from the companies he has occupied. You know, look at what he did to Nigerian breweries. Because of old age, he ran that place like that. Look, what was the current cost of a bottle of beer? So we know what these people are capable of. The only thing they are capable of are to operate as consultants. They don't need to be in government as governor and deputy governor to consult.
Let me get you one.
Age, you can still consult.
Let me get you one final question.
Now, and that is why in Benin City, the greatest threat we will have is Labour Party, and we are equal to the task.
Okay.
And remember that most people in Labour Party have joined us. Just during that last campaign rally we had, Obede Iyama, who controls the votes, he was a 2-time member of the House of Reps, joined our party. And that was why PDP lost woefully in the governor's local government. Obaseki did not win any local government.
Let me get you a final question, sir. I have to get you a final question.
I want you to react to the video at your candidate's...
Hello, sir, he's still speaking. Hello. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I want you to react to the video at your candidate's campaign recently where he... can we call it a stutter? Where he was, slightly corrected by your party leader, Oshomole, during the campaign. I think he wanted to mention security and insecurity. People suggested, based on that video, that he's not exactly fit to run for office. I want you to react to it. Not just coherence. It showed we were talking about his health. Can you respond to that video? Address the video.
I think the best response is what a former US president said, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, and I quote him. He said, "An error does not become a mistake until we refuse to correct it." I've been on your program in the last 1 week twice, and I think the first time I appeared, I made a mistake. I said, PDP is a party to beat. I was talking about us beating the PDP. It was a slip, and I corrected myself in the course of that program. And if you watch the fuller version of that video, not the one that PDP edited, he started by saying that he wanted to say he will provide security, which is the first plinth of his 5-point agenda. He mentioned insecurity and he corrected himself within that same statement. So there's nobody above mistake. Even God at the time regretted why he created man. Okay. God made a mistake by allowing that first thing to have happened because he was in a position to have corrected it. So there's nobody that is above mistake.
Even God made mistakes.
All right, thank you very much. We have to let you go, but I think we have to wish you the best. I mean, it's exciting time, as I said, in Edo right now. Many Nigerians are looking forward to the numbers because it's quite interesting to see the prominence of all the parties. I know there's a woman candidate also who had reached out to us. Hopefully we can have her soon on the show to also tell us what she plans to do. But we're wishing Edo people the best come 21st of September as they all go to the polls to elect their next governor. Thank you so much, Mr. Emwanta, for joining us this morning. It was a pleasure having you. That is all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.